Okay, in this video, we're going to be looking at how you use the email tool within HubSpot. So we're going to go to Marketing Email, and then we're going to look at essentially the different types of campaign you can create. So if we go Create Email at the top here, you'll see we've got regular, automated, and RSS. So regular is really just a fairly static template that you might send out. The automated is basically an automated trigger. So, for example, if somebody carries out a particular action, if you add them or tag them in a particular way within HubSpot, you can essentially trigger them into a workflow. And the blog RSS is essentially a feed. So, if you pull in your news feed from your website, it will detect when there is some new content and then place it within the template that you've created and send that out to your designated list. So, we'll kick off with just a regular email campaign. And if you've got custom templates, they'll appear under the custom tab. But for the purposes of the test, what we'll do is we'll just select the promotion template, which is provided. So we're going to show you here how to use the drag and drop builder. So as you can see, by default, it's already pulled in numerous elements. So you can just click on one and begin editing. So test edit, click off, and that changes there. Alternatively, you could drag in additional elements. If we wanted a button, for example, above here, there you go, it pulls a button in automatically. And then you can essentially customize the settings down the left-hand side. So whenever you click on an element, as you'll see, if there are options for it, they'll appear on the left-hand side. So this is allowing us to replace the image. We can give it alt text, so a screen reader can read it. We can adjust the size, the padding, and also create links. Links just behind the image there, but there's fields to do that. And the same with the call to action buttons. Again, choose what you want to do, customize the colors, etc. Now, there is a design tab at the top here, which allows you to essentially customize the global settings for everything. So if we went and changed the background to bright red, you do that like so. You can reset to defaults if you ever want to undo a change you've made. You can upload an image and so on. Lots and lots of different settings all here. So if we change the button to yellow, you'll see it'll change all the buttons to yellow. Whereas if you edit the design of it within this particular button here, it'll just change that particular button and the others will remain yellow because they're using the global styles. Once you're happy with your newsletter, you can send a test email. And this will essentially allow you to preview it. If you want to see what it's going to look like when somebody receives it, you're best doing this. You should do it as good practice anyway, just to make sure that nothing is out of line or anything's coming through a little bit broken. It's always good practice. After that, you can then change the settings once you're happy with it. So you want to give it a subject line. Again, you can add your personalized options in. So if you want to say, "Hi, Jerry," or detect a first name, for example, you can do that there. The preview text, some emails, particularly on phones, it allows you to add like a little description so you can get a little snippet of what this email is about. And give it an internal name if it's belonging to a particular campaign that you're referencing by an ID or internal reference. You can always use that there just to help you decipher what the content is. You can associate it to a particular subscription of user. You can also place it within a particular campaign. So if you're grouping your marketing assets into different campaigns, it could be like, I don't know, social interactions are getting pulled into a particular list in a certain way. Manual contacts in nothing list. You can always campaign it that way, however you want to set it up. Then you've got your send and schedule options. So who are you sending this to? We've got lots of different lists, but you'll have your own. If, for example, you've started to create a list of perhaps users that aren't engaging with your content, you can always select all contacts, for example, and then exclude that particular list. So you don't have to manually go through and remove them from existing lists. If they're within a central blocked list, you can remove them that way. It's a really easy way of doing it. And that is how you create a regular campaign. Now, if we jump back to create email and we select automated campaign, we'll go for the same template just to make things consistent. And let's imagine we've completed all this. We'll just leave it as is, and we'll jump into settings now. You have the ability again to customize the details of the email itself. If we click on send, we have the ability to essentially create this as a workflow. So what this basically means is, if, for example, we've detected new contacts that we have saved and they visited our site within the last month, or they visited a website page within the last month, what you can do is say, well, I want this email to go out because perhaps they're showing interest in a particular section and this email relates to that. So what you can do within workflows is set up a trigger so that anyone that's been to, say, for example, the contact page, but you've not heard from them, well, then we're going to fire this out, just saying anything we can help you with. Just reaching out there, just dropping a bit of contact. So that way, they're not necessarily plumbed into a fixed, I suppose, campaign as such. We're replying to them, or we're making contact with them based on their interactions with us. And you just press review and save once you've completed everything. And again, you've got your send tests and whatnot. And that is how you create an automated campaign. Next up, we have our blog and RSS. So if you have an internal HubSpot blog you're using, you just select that from the drop-down. Alternatively, if you're using an external one, what you're going to want to do is place in the URL. So let's just put in I don't know, let me select it RSS. There we go. And again, we'll just select the same template for consistency. And what you'll see it's done is it's automatically pulled in our existing news. But again, we can customize this. So you can customize the actual content it's pulling out. So perhaps we don't want the date. Perhaps we don't want the comment option, for example. So you can just go ahead and customize this however you like. If I just move, I can't move my image there. You can also control how many posts are being pulled through. So, for example, you might not necessarily have a lot of content going out, so you wouldn't want to necessarily show 5. If perhaps you've got news going out on a bi-weekly or bi-monthly basis, just displaying one will work fine, and that'll be triggered each time your news or your blog is updated. And exactly the same way as the other two, you have your settings, so you can customize it, and the schedule. So how often do you want it to look for new content? So for example, if we set it on weekly on a Monday, if something was posted the previous Friday, on the Monday, it'll quickly search, have a look, oh, it's detected some new content, and then send that out to your list. And again, you'd select your recipients in exactly the same way. And that is how you use the email marketing feature within HubSpot.